From the subreddit AskMen. Men who finds dating depressing, why? Past experiences. 4/5 girls I tried to date ghosted me on a first date, and the last one just said she was willing to hook up with me only to get closer to a friend of mine. I am really tired of trying to appease women who don't even bother to show up or even text why they ghosted me, after they said they would come and meet Earl. I am still somewhat young, 24, but I am at a period where I would love to be in a relationship, but knowing how well it went in the past, I don't have any more emotional strength to go on. The only way out of this is I meet someone randomly, but those chances seem just extremely low. Also, being an introvert does not help me one bit. It feels like I have to do all the courting. Shit, man, like being treated nicely too, you know? I feel like a phone manufacturer from Kickstarter that's often overlooked by people who go for iPhones, Galaxies and other well-established competitors. Do you mean aside from the constant rejection, ghosting, judgment and outright hostility, or the being used as a very disposable, exploitable resource? Male who has just turned 41, I've been straight my whole life, but Tinder makes me think that maybe I'm ready to expand my horizons. Constant failure. I'm honestly done with dating. 37 meters and I just hate the whole thing. I've been on Tinder for a year and only matched once, and I think that was a mistake. After the first message I sent, she unmatched me or blocked me because her profile disappeared. Dating in general was exhausting. I have so many stories of weird-ass dates that I don't want to add to that book. Right now it's me and my 2 dogs. I love them and they love me unconditionally. At this point, if I meet someone AMD they want to be a part of my life, then that's great. If not, then that's fine too. I just don't have the energy to date anymore. I've just dated a lot now. I'm 33 and I've met with all types of women and had all kinds of experiences, and it just isn't novel or interesting to date anymore. I feel sad that I feel this way, but I'm struggling to convince myself to bother anymore. No luck. Mid-30s and everyone seems to be taken. I am expected to take the initiative before I even know if I feel attracted to women. I can quickly see if a woman is physically attractive, but other than that I know very little about her and don't feel anything. Yet it is completely on me to shoot my shot, and that feels very forced. Dating is a game, and the game sucks, and I don't play games that suck. I've mostly gone from one long-term relationship to another fairly quickly, but at one point I was single for 6 months or so. A lady asked me out on a blind date. We used to speak over the phone as part of our jobs. She was nice enough. I took her to a Mexican restaurant, had a nice chat there. Took her home. Dropped her off, but I wasn't looking to stay or anything. Said goodbye. Was a pretty good date. As I was driving home I was hit by a profound sadness. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but I felt as though I was maybe interviewing for a job. You know? Like selling myself. I didn't like it, and so I found the whole thing demeaning maybe. It feels like a job interview. I hate job interviews. For an introverted guy like me, dating or simply DMing a girl feels like a game of how long can I keep her entertained before she ghosts me. Extroverted or normal people generally don't understand or care to understand introverts. Enormous waste of money, which I don't have a lot of. Ghosting. There is zero accountability these days. It is extraordinarily rude to ghost someone, and it honestly fucks with my head. You talk every day for a while and then the day comes for the actual date and they don't reply. Or the date goes fairly well and then no reply. How hard is it to send a "I don't think this is going to work"? If you're worried about those r/nice guy rejection explosions, block the dude's number after sending the message. The last 10 dates I arranged, I was stood up. 3 girls even showed up to the restaurant I booked and tried to use my reservation with another guy. I don't date anymore. I always thought that dating was fun. You get to meet people, and even if there is no romance, it is fun to know somebody new. In reality, women in dates are weirdly combative, confrontational and mean. I have never been insulted to my face so much as when I was dating. At least this was my experience. I have never managed to get a single date in my life, and according to the people who made me the 7th wheel, it is bad out there for everyone now, as in apparently no one is whining. It feels like something from an end of days prediction. I find it disheartening to have to try again and again without any success. For one woman I'm too quiet, for another I'm too kind, for the other I'm not handsome enough, and it goes on. I should be enough just as I am, but I don't feel enough. Love shouldn't be this hard, but it feels like something I have to put a lot of effort in when she doesn't really try all that much, and, at the same time, I'm not her only option. Been cheated on twice, so don't want to have that happen again. Only ever in 4 relationships too. Long story short, men have to do all the work and get rejected multiple times before it works, and if you don't put in all that work, you'll stay single forever. Men need to message first, men need to initiate a date, men need to plan the date, what happens and where to go, men are expected to pay, at the very least split 50-50, men are expected to drive, in most cases after date number 1, men have to prove they can be providers and men need to make the first move. Obviously this is generalizing, but in my 3 years on dating apps, I've only ever had 3 girls send the first message and 1 girl make the move to kiss me, in about 30 to 40 dates or so. If I didn't provide all of the above mentioned, I would get ghosted. So this does not represent everyone, only my own personal experiences. A friend of mine put it very aptly. For women, dating is like going shopping, for men it's like a job interview. Women have a massive upper hand in it. Dating in person is a nightmare and using dating sites is even worse. You run a huge risk of just being taken advantage of, being ghosted, strung along, and all the while you're putting in more effort than any of your prospective partners. There's only so many times a guy will put up with being played with or used for free meals before they get fed up with it. And the worst part is if your date is exploiting or abusing you, no one will care. It's really demoralizing to be a guy in today's dating environment. We have to do all the work. We're the ones that have to win the girl, instead of the girl winning us. The way dating mostly works is women are put on a pedestal, waiting for the men to put themselves out there with hopes she'll choose you over the other guys. It's not fun to do all the time. Men need to realize we're the prize too, that they have to win us too, it's mutual. Not only it'll help with self-esteem, but also to choose better women. When all you're focusing on is what she thinks of you, you tend to overlook what you think of her. You're more focused on having her like you than you actually liking her. I don't find it depressing, I just haven't met anyone I like. I haven't met many girls that I find funny, the ones that I did just didn't tick the other boxes of the type of personality I want. Because I never have dated. I'm a 5'6" dude who did better than I ever should have in the dating world. Like a lot better. But I had to put in tremendous effort and go through a lot of tough life lessons to even be considered a potentially dateable guy. My friend who's 6'2", never had to develop any interesting hobbies or go through exhausting shit, sits around and plays video games all day, gets far more matches than I do for existing. It's like, what's even the point? Not a man, but I want to chime in. I understand how online dating must be soul-crushing for men. It's 4 to 5 men per woman on apps like Tinder. So even if all women got a long-term BF on the first try, 75 to 80% of the male users would still get nothing. The numbers are stacked against you. Single women mostly don't frequent sites like Tinder. Apart from the depressing reasons mentioned here. It's also fucking expensive. Chicks never pay during the first dates. You end up single and less rich. I'm 37 and honestly, I never relied on apps like Tinder. I've dated women from work, connected through Facebook, jogging in the neighborhood or the liquor store to buy smokes. Lol, I even had a date at work. Which was different. The point is, these were all places where I was comfortable and in control of my presence and approach, unless I was approached. From what I've observed, online dating and meetups are too impersonal. Things got more difficult to express, especially since a lot of the communication game is nonverbal. How the fuck do you seduce someone with just fucking text messages, if they need more stimuli? This Tinder/Bumble shit is conditioning women to apparently pedestalize their own expectations, and seems to be dehumanizing as an approach for men. Stop using that shit and go out and be a human. You'll have better success at finding friends and people who actually give a shit. Everyone seems to want to use me for sex or for a free dinner. I just want to find someone who genuinely loves me. I used to find it super depressing, mutual interest and conversations were rare if ever. Eventually I gave in and started using Tinder. At first I didn't have much luck, then I changed up my pictures, expanded my age limit, lower, and started recycling a low-effort cookie-cutter conversation. Then it went pretty well. Pissyama ugly ass donkey. Women often express attraction to me, saying I'm hot, or that they want to marry me, but they still rarely actually put effort into dating me. I don't have a problem getting attention from women, I just am always the one who puts in more effort. For some reason it pisses me off that you need to go out somewhere and spend money to determine compatibility. I know you don't have to, but it's a general consensus that you should. My ideal date is a nice drive and a good conversation. I'd say maybe 1% of the female population would be up for that. I wonder if girls will read this and wonder why guys only want hookups in February nowadays. The best part about it is that the type of men who are good at flirting, Picking up girls, and are just all around the kind of guy girls gravitate toward, aren't usually the commitment type. They have options, they'll dump you for the next interesting girl they find. To them, attracting women is a learned skill. So women flock toward the exact men they complain about on their profiles while ignoring decent guys who would in all likelihood make better partners. Also, it feels like for the most part women today judge men on their ability to entertain, rather than their ability to provide or raise children. So in all, it's soul-crushing. That's my take.